Hey guys, I wanted to make a short video about things you didn't know about the story where Jesus cleanses the temple. Basically, grabs a whip and drives out a bunch of the religious leaders. So that's what we're talking about at the brewery discussion group this week. I usually make this sheet look something like this. It's got some questions on it, and I like to put some historical context and cultural background on there, and then we can read the story together, and that context kind of helps you guys solve the puzzle of what does the story mean. Usually try to put things in there that you didn't know, that I don't know, so I'm learning alongside you guys. But one of the things I found out, I was reading in this cultural context study Bible. It's NRSV Cultural Background Study Bible by Craig Keener and John Walton. And they said, okay, there was a temple in the Old Testament, right? And when in the original temple, God gave the people these instructions of how to build it and all this. It was not segregated. There was a place inside the temple called the Holy of Holies where only the priests could go. But if you fast forward to Jesus' time, by then, this cultural study Bible says that there were actually three separate areas. The temple was segregated. So there was an area for Jewish men, an area for Jewish women, and then an area called the Gentile court where people who were not Jews were only allowed to go in that area. There were actually signs posted that said, if you went into one of these other areas, if a Gentile left the Gentile area, you could be killed. So that's pretty disturbing. And I started to wonder, all right, so how did we get from a non-segregated temple when the temple was first built all the way to this segregated temple? The other thing is, why is Jesus so upset, and does that play into it? Now, it looks like in the story, Jesus drives out the people who are setting up tables to sell doves for sacrifice. Now, that's kind of important because the dove is the only animal that poor people could afford. Okay, so are they ripping off poor people? I don't know. The other thing is, where are these people setting up these tables? Because if they're taking up the Gentile court area, well, then those people no longer have an area to go to worship God. If they've set up the market in that court and they're not allowed to go anywhere else in the temple, well, then basically they don't have a place in the temple anymore. They've been pushed outside. So all of these are things to think about, and they're all on the sheet. So we'll read it together and try to figure out, okay, what does this story mean? And I'm hoping that if you're not religious, if you haven't read the Bible, that cultural context will help you understand the story. And I'm also hoping for those of you who are Christians or are familiar with the Bible, you'll actually get something new out of it. So we'll be at the brewery this week. If you want details, go to breweryministries.org and you can find out where we meet and what time and everything. You can message us at Brewery Ministries on Facebook or Instagram. You can email us at breweryministries@gmail.org. Or if you're somebody who wants to use this little discussion guide with a small group, you want to meet with people at a brewery like we do, a coffee shop, get your friends together and talk about it, whatever. It's actually posted for free because that's kind of what it's for at breweryministries.org, and click on the free discussion guides tab. And then if you go into the Exploring Jesus in the Book of Mark folder, you'll find it there. It's week 29, Mark chapter 11, verses 12 through 25. All right, well, come out to the brewery this week. Let's have a beer and let's talk about this. We'll see ya.